Hey y'all, I had to talk about this. How many of you guys, no, I'm going to talk about me, have started and been in situations based on a person's gift and not their character and become so disappointed because you're like, oh my God, I thought this person was this amazing person because we were looking at the gift of the person, whether they are great teachers, whether they're great businessmen or businesswomen, whatever the case may be, whatever lifestyle they're living. We could talk about celebrities, right? And then you hear these scandals, you're like, oh my gosh, I thought they were so this type of person, because a lot of times we judge it by the representative that they give us and not the person, because we don't really know these people, right? I wanted to talk about this. I am Lee Hill, your hair coach, and I can give you a great example. Recently, I end up not going, but recently I saw this girl who could slay hair. Like, I mean, every person you see, every strand of hair was in a certain order. And I would look at the girl, every time I meet somebody whose hair she did, I was like, man, who did your hair? And they'd be like, such and such. And I'm like, oh, okay. I said, I'm going to go check her out, right? And then I'll ask them, how many times you've been? Oh, I've been like 10 times. Oh, I've been going to her about 2 years now. Oh my God, her work is fabulous, whatever. And I didn't think to ask about her. And I know you guys have experienced this 100 times as hairstylists, because as customers dealing with hairstylists, because y'all already know how they get down. You can get some really good ones and you can get some not so great ones, right? And so anyway, I finally said, okay, you know what? I'm going to go. I get to the place, I set the appointment. She was very professional. Oh, yes. And, she told me everything she was going to do. She sent me some photos. And I was like, listen, I love it. I want it done. I get there. She's not there. Then I wait about 30 minutes in my car. And then she finally comes in. It's 3 people. I'm like, are those people for her? Those people were for her. She comes to me and said, I'm going to start your hair in 20 minutes. So I sat there and I was debating with myself, said, if you sit here and you wait, you are not holding this person accountable, and you're not holding the people accountable around her. She has to see that, listen, people time is a value, and you just don't do it. You don't do things like that. It's very disrespectful, right? And so anyway, I sat there and I was like, well, let me watch her character. Now I want to see how she carries on. How is she interacting with her employees and her peers and her customers? And she was the worst. She was mad that nobody went out and got her any coffee. They know she had a long night. She was out with her man. She started talking to all of her personal business. She was I was looking at her, I'm like, is she going to set up her station? When you come in, you have to clean off, wash off all your tools, which if you would have came in an hour early, you wouldn't have to do it. She was just taking the combs out, using the same combs on people. She got loud. She had a bad attitude. When a customer was trying to tell her what they wanted, she told them what she could do. And I just watched all that. I said, it's very not presentable, not clean looking. And I said, I'm going to sit here. And I watched her do a young lady hair. She slayed it. She did a pixie cut, slayed. That's her gift. But I sat there because I wanted to understand. I was like, man, her gift is off the chain. But her character, her attitude, her work ethic, I don't even want that lady touching my hair. And so I was talking about this because I'm like, from that situation, I started looking at like just people I deal with on an everyday basis, work, people calling in, when I'm working claims and all these different things, and just listening to how self-entitled, how nasty people can be. And I'm like, these people are sitting in people's living rooms. These people are parents. These people are pastors. These people are bishops. These people are leaders. Some of these people are mothers, fathers, and I was like, if people knew who they really was living with or dealing with and how nasty people can be at times, would they be around? Would they stay? But we don't realize that. So we'll get caught up in any type of relationship. We'll get caught up with the person because they've showed us their representative. They showed us their gifts. And we're like, oh my God, that person is great. Did you see how she broke that down and taught that and so on and so forth? Oh my God, what did you do to her hair? Oh, you did this. Oh, girl, you can do it. Right? So we captivated by that. Now all of a sudden we building a relationship. We talk to the person every day, blah, blah, blah. They still got their representative on. But eventually, you can only fake the funk for so long. Eventually, and it will come out. And then we have to be the people to hold the person accountable and call them out on it, right? And say, hey, that's not cool. This, and this, that's, you have no integrity. Like, you have to be able to talk to people. And I'm talking about this because I had a really good friend of mine tell me one day, like, we were talking about relationships, and I was talking about some of the relationships that I had, and they were like, you're not a really good person. I was like, what? Oh, of course I am. I'm a great person. People love hanging with me. I'm funny. I'm this and that. He was like, no, you're not really a great person. You make really bad decisions. You're really disrespectful to people. When you're in relationships, you're really disrespectful. And like a few things, and it hurt. I was like, what? And he said, nobody ever told you that? And I said, no. Because they always tell me the good things. And they were like, that's not your friend. They're not your friends. If they're not good, if they don't care about you enough to tell you, hey, you don't have good character, and you're not a good person, you really need to change your ways and your thinking. Those are not your friends. And so I wanted to talk about that. See, when I talk about stuff, I'm talking about myself too, y'all. And I was like, oh my God, how many people think that of me and just never said anything? So, of course, I've been working on this. But I just wanted to bring that out to you guys about how we as people will judge someone by their gifts. And oh my God, and how you dress and how you carry yourself. And we'll judge people on the outside. But then when you start having an experience with them, you realize that they're not really so great of a person that they may think they are, or that you thought they were. You know what I mean? And so I just wanted to bring this out. You guys know this is a forum where we talk about everything. And I think I'm gonna make the title of stop creating. We need to stop creating relationships based on people's gifts and focus on the character, because the character of the person is going to make or break that relationship. The character of the person is going to be your decision to say, do I want to deal with this for the rest of my life? Or do I want to deal with this friendship or this relationship, this marriage, whatever it may be? You got to look at that person and not say, okay, that looks great to me. You got to be strong enough and bold enough to say, now that side looks great to me, but how are you in bad situations? How are you as a friend? Do you go and gossip? Do you go and talk? Do you go and are you low-key competitive? Do you got a jealous part of you? How's your work ethic? You know what I mean? How are you? Because that means something too. People don't realize that. If you're horrible at work, you're horrible at everything, because that's your work. You don't care about how people see you. That's your name on things, right? So I just want to bring that out because especially, everybody been off work and just coming around, and things like that come around their families and stuff. And I just been hearing a lot of horror stories, and I've experienced it, as I said, with the hairstylist. And I was just like, do you judge people by their character, or do you judge people by their gifts? I am sad to say I was one of those people that judge people by their gifts. And by the time I was so deep in to whatever the relationship was, the relationship went bad as friends or whatever. I just cut them off because I was just like, oh my God, they're horrible. But now I realize the reason why I attracted them, because I had the same character as a lot of those people that I claimed to cut off. And I was so Miss Goody Two-Shoe. I mirrored them. And sometimes we cut people off, not just because they have bad character, but we cut people off because they remind us of the bad things about ourselves. So I just wanted to bring that to you, guys. I am Lee Hill, your hair coach. coming to you with the videos. I hope you guys please like, share, and please make your comment. I want to hear stories. I want to know, am I the only person that see this or paying attention to this? Bye. See you next video.